And so this evening, we invite you to join us by taking a deep breath in and relax around that breath and simply allow yourself now to come into the fullness of this holy experience. And with each successive breath, simply allow yourself now in this moment to be here now. We open ourselves to this living moment, to the power of this communion, this connection, that while we are geographically distant, we are yet near each other by the sound of our voice, the music, the words, the connection that we share, our hearts tilted in the same intention and direction, upward, outward, in love. And so as we enter into this time of wholeness and healing and life force, we also at the same time extend it and bless the world by breathing out with this intention of wholeness and healing and blessing for the world. We are one. We draw our strength from that truth, and we allow the love that connects us to move across the face of the earth and bless the world. And so it is. Amen.
Welcome everyone to Wednesday night Satsang, the principle and the practice of unity. Be singing Oyaheya, which means praise the Spirit. We know that what we praise increases in our consciousness. So as we praise the Spirit, our awareness of God increases in our consciousness. Let's open our hearts to the words of the song. I am listening to the music of the Holy Spirit. Oh, what a song God is singing. I will listen all day long. I will listen all day long. Oh yeah, hey ya.
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 Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Oh yeah, hey ya.
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 Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Oh yeah, hey ya.
Oh yeah, hey ya.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I am lifted in the love of the Holy Spirit.
Holy Spirit.
Oh, what a joy.
Oh,
What a joy.
God is being. Praise the Spirit.
Praise the Spirit.
All day long.
all day long.
Praise the Spirit.
Praise the Spirit.
All day long.
All day long.
Oh yeah, hey ya.
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 Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Oh yeah, hey ya.
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 Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Oh yeah, hey ya.
Oh yeah, hey ya.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I am moving to the rhythm of the Holy Spirit. This dance of God inspires, keeps me dancing. My faith is strong, keeps me dancing. sing, my faith is strong. Oh yeah, hey yeah.
Oh yeah, hey ya.
Oh yeah, hey yeah.
Oh yeah, hey ya.
Oh yeah, hey yeah.
Oh yeah, hey ya.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Oh yeah, hey yeah.
Oh yeah, hey ya.
Oh yeah, hey yeah.
Oh yeah, hey ya.
Oh yeah, hey yeah.
Oh yeah, hey ya.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Oh yeah, hey yeah.
Oh yeah, hey ya.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
There's a silence in the stillness of the Holy Spirit. Oh, what a light God is shining. Let us see it everywhere. Oh, let us be it everywhere. Oh, yeah, hey, yeah.
Oh yeah, hey ya.
Oh, yeah, hey, yeah.
Oh yeah, hey ya.
Oh, yeah, hey, yeah.
Oh yeah, hey ya.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Oh, yeah, hey, yeah.
Oh yeah, hey ya.
Oh, yeah, hey, yeah.
Oh yeah, hey ya.
Oh, yeah, hey, yeah.
Oh yeah, hey ya.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Oh, yeah, hey, yeah.
Oh yeah, hey ya.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Praise the Spirit.
Praise the Spirit.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
hey,
hey
yeah.
ya. I will make a quiet place within my heart, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. I will make a quiet place within my mind, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still and know I will make a quiet place within my life, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. I will make a quiet place within my heart, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. I will make a quiet place within my mind, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still, my soul, will make a quiet place. I will make a quiet place. I will make a quiet place.
Moving into the stillness together as we enter into our time of meditation. Close your outer eyes and take a deep breath. And release. Checking in with your seated posture. Having a posture that allows your feet to feel grounded into the earth. Feeling your spine strong and letting go in the belly. With every breath, allowing the belly to relax even more. Deepen the breath. Feel it moving from breathing up in your chest cavity to that low belly breath. The way we breathed when we were babies. Our natural way of breathing. Relaxing the muscles of the face. And opening. Checking in with your inner life, your inner climate, and how you're feeling in this moment. Whatever feelings or emotions, sensations that are present, simply allowing them to be, welcoming them, being tender with yourself as you tend to yourself, to your inner life. Regarding yourself with compassion, gentleness, love. Imagine yourself now being magically transported in your mind to a healing temple or a sacred sanctuary, some place of divine power energy for you, where you feel safe. You feel yourself enfolded in divine presence. Allow yourself time to look around the space and really get a sense of what it looks like, the colors, the texture of the walls,
walls, the floor. What kind of decor is in this space? How the air smells in this beautiful, sacred sanctuary open to you now. You take a seat somewhere that feels right for you to engage in this spiritual practice. And as you go within, checking in with how it feels to be in this space, to be fully supported so that you can nurture your inner life. With the tenderness of loving kindness, allow yourself to become aware of any place in your body now where you may feel wounded, where you may be feeling some pain or discomfort, where you may hold some emotional trauma or pain, sadness or grief, fear. Just locate an area of your body now and bring it your loving attention. You are in a healing place, and it is safe to open yourself to your inner experiences. And so how is that area of your body feeling now? Does it feel tight? Is there some vibration there of energy, fluttering? Does it feel tender? Just noticing any feelings that may arise as you allow that area to just be held by your compassionate regard. Now imagine a wise being or a teacher of this temple, this healing temple that you are seated in, greeting you, bowing to you. There as a spiritual companion for your journey. You can invite that wise teacher to be aware of this area in your body that you're holding, and even invite that person to place a gentle hand on that area as a gesture of support, of prayer, of kindness. That you are not alone in this healing. They are there with you. See if you can feel the presence of this wise being's hand. If you're not able to sense this now, just sense your own hand going to that place and just bringing comfort. like you would place a hand on a child, with care, with compassion, with support. Imagine this wise being now bowing again once to you and you bowing to them as they depart from the temple, checking in with how you're feeling now. Your kind regard for your body and for this wounded area. Bring your attention to returning from the healing temple to the space that you're in and keeping your attention in your body. Noticing if there have been any shifts of energy, sensations, awareness within you. Recognizing that at any time you can allow yourself to return to that healing sanctuary, to experience that support and that care. It is always available within you. So feel gratitude now as you breathe. Release the experience. Trusting it is all part of this beautiful healing journey that we walk together. And when you're ready, bring your attention to this space, gently fluttering your eyes open with a soft focus, taking in the light. Feeling fully present here and now. And so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Jeanmarie, and thank you, David, for your support.
Amen.
What a lovely journey into healing. And so as we reemerge from our holy temple and feel ourselves returning to our earthen temples, our bodies, and the space in which we are living or seated now, let us take a deep breath in and relax and open and bring our focus down into our hearts. For this is the true portal, the center of all of our connection with all that is. It is the portal through which all love and peace and power rise, come through us. And this is the time in our service where we allow our hearts to guide us in sharing from a place of compassion and understanding, but also a place of generosity and sharing. And so as we prepare our offering to share with this ministry, we do it electronically now, but in whatever form it takes and however we do it, and whenever we do it, let us now bless it with our intention to serve the world and to bless with the power of divine love. And so our blessing starts with that. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all the good I am and have, all the good I give and receive, and so it is. Amen.
The power of now is always present, nowhere to be than where you are. The power of now flows oh so gracefully. The power of now is always perfect, nothing to be than who you are. The power of now flows oh so easily. Be willing to let go of everything you think you need to know. Oh, be strong enough to let go of everything you think you need to control. For everything goes away. Let everything wash away. The power of now. The power of now is ever present, connecting us all to the one. The power of now unfolds so peacefully. Be willing to let go of everything you think you need to know. Oh, be strong enough to let go of everything you think you need to control. For everything goes away. Let everything wash away. The power of now. The power of now. The power of now.
Hope you're feeling yourself even more present, even more open, even more interested in the mystery of what is present. We spend so much time in our minds out in the past and in the future. What is really here? That's where we discover all that is in the present. I recently heard this quote from Father Gregory Boyle. He said, "Tenderness is the highest form of spiritual maturity." Tenderness. Tenderness. I had to be with that. Looking into our spiritual journeys and leading to even more open and tender hearts. Father Greg Boyle, he's the founder of Homeboy Industries in Los Angeles. Reverend Karen's talked about him before, and we got to hear him at convention a few years ago. This organization is the world's largest gang rehabilitation and re-entry program in the world. So you can imagine the kind of tenderness that it takes to serve people who have been in the most violent situations you can find yourself, and how he supports them in giving them work and also spiritual food to come back into their hearts and their authentic selves from having been raised in a hostile environment, to return to spirit and return to love. And that's that path of tenderness. And so tonight we're exploring spiritual healing. We're continuing on our journey of A Path with Heart, the Jack Kornfield work. And so tonight is the healing power of spiritual practice. And I invite you in your approach to healing to be tender with yourself. Because as we go into spiritual practice, a lot of things can arise that may want our attention, things that we have maybe neglected or avoided within ourselves that want to be heard. So knowing that it takes time, knowing that we have all the time that we need to do the work that we came to do, and that we're fully supported. Now, when we touch into our wounded places, like we did in the meditation, it can maybe feel like we're being ganged up on by our thinking. Can start working up, can start with triggers, negative thoughts can rush in. Unhealed issues can seem to rush in. And it's like, all hail, the gang's all here. I've heard those voices before. I've been with you before. Yeah, I know what you have to say. And it's our parents, siblings, exes, friends, teachers, whatever. Frenemies, whoever might be residing in our minds, and the voices in our mind that is speaking to us through that unhealed space. And so when we feel ganged up on, we want to be aware that we can go back into our coping mechanism, which could be addiction, it could be diversions, it could be avoidance tactics, coping strategies. We want to recognize that we have the strength to bring the presence to that wound, and also we want to do it in a supportive community like Unity. Now, many people who first start attending Unity, I've heard this story, it's my story and it's many people's story, that they come and they sit in the back at first and they're just crying for, many, it could be weeks, months, years. And so what causes that? What is that about? Well, the body is having that opportunity, hearing truth, being in meditation. Maybe Unity is the first place you ever meditated, you ever sat still and listened to spirit. Might be. Now, Achin Shah, who is Jack Kornfield's teacher, he said, if you haven't cried a number of times, your meditation hasn't really begun. So it's considered part and parcel of our meditation practice that we open our hearts to our emotional body, our emotional life, sensations, held experiences in the body, and give them space. And that may be a grieving process, and very often it could be. Since ancient times, spiritual practice has been considered a healing practice. We call Jesus the great physician or master healer, and Buddha was also known as a great healer of the body. If we're to mature as we move forward on our spiritual path, we must attend to these wounds that we carry. Now, when I came to Unity, I thought for sure meditation was leaving the body. It was like, Star Trek when they say space, the final frontier, to boldly go where no man has gone before. I thought that's what meditation is going to be. I'm going to boldly go where I've never gone before. And I had no idea that it would be going somewhere I've never gone before within myself. And so we boldly go to the ground of our being. And so if we're going into the ground, we're probably going to come up with some muck that comes up, along the way. And so that's our healing work. That's ours to do. Last time I spoke on Wednesday night, I asked if you were experiencing unity within yourself. And so I want to check in with you again tonight. Are you? Are you experiencing unity within yourself? And so we can call on a wise teacher. You can call on the wise teacher within you. In Unity, we call that the Christ consciousness. You can call it your Buddha nature, or whatever it is for you. That you can develop a relationship with the divine nature of yourself that is there to support you in your healing, that sees you whole, that can hold that space for you. So recognize that that's available for you to seek guidance, to seek a hand to hold as you walk through the practice. There's a story that Jack Kornfield tells of visiting a man who's a master teacher in Buddhism, and they called him the coconut monk, and he lived on an island in Vietnam. And this was during the time of the Vietnam War, and he went out to this island, and there was war raging all around them, but they took him to this sacred temple, Buddhist temple, and outside of the temple were these 6-foot-tall statues, and one was of Buddha and one was of Jesus, and they had their arms around each other. In the midst of this war going on around them, there were the master teachers with their arms around each other, sending love, sending compassion, light, and that's represents for me that presence within us. And Karen spoke on a few weeks ago, the war within, that war raging around us, those teachers, the teacher within you, always holding you in the warmest of lights and regard and love. We're always divinely supported. So why heal? If it's all this work and it's painful and I don't want to look at it, why bother at all, right? So why heal? Why? Well, we want to completely embody the spiritual life that we're walking, the principles that we say are our own, our unity principles or Buddhist principles, whatever path you're walking, that we want to embody it. So we must tend to our wounds so that we can walk lovingly, so that we can be a manifester of unity consciousness in the world, so we can walk wisely on our spiritual path. When we go into our unhealed spaces, there can be rage, there can be grief, there can be sorrow, unhealed traumas from our childhood. Perhaps it was abuse, abandonment, and those can become unconscious forces in our lives. And we may not always know the origin, but we can be in relationship with another person and get triggered and not even know the connection. And it's when we begin to do that healing work and move into those spaces that want to come to our awareness that we can no longer have to continue those unhealthy patterns and relationships in our lives and be able to come fresh to those people in our lives, in our wholeness, and avoid repeating the same unhealthy patterns over and over and over again. And so healing comes when we listen to what it is that wants to be heard, that's bubbling up within us. And so many of us, we consider ourselves stressed or having anxiety or depression, and these are, there are voices within us. There are sensations, feelings in our bodies that are wanting to be heard and are make themselves louder and louder through those conditions, right? And so we can bring our loving attention to them. Wendell Berry, the poet, shared this poem on the inward process. I go among the trees and sit still. All my stirring becomes quiet. Around me like circles on water. My tasks lie in their places where I left them, asleep like cattle. Then what I am afraid of comes. I live for a while in its sight. What I fear in it leaves it, and the fear of it leaves me. It sings, and I hear its song. So there's that healing process of when we give that experience an opportunity to be felt, that behind the fear, behind the sorrow, the rage, that there is your very own song that wants to be sung through that. And so we have to allow and let it be heard within us in the safe space of spiritual practice. When we listen for our songs of rage and fear and loneliness, longing, they don't stay with us forever. So that's the beauty of the practice, that they want to be heard. Rage may turn into sorrow. Sorrow can turn into weeping, but eventually the dawn breaks and the morning comes and there's healing. Our bodies will experience a release. Tears, we know, are healing. They're a way for our bodies to let go. Now, our bodies may shake. Jack Kornfield talks about all different kinds of sensations of our bodies releasing stuck energy. And it made me think of a voice work master teacher who I got to do an extended workshop with when I was an actor in New York, and her name is Catherine Fitzmaurice. And it was an amazing experience. And one of the things we had to do, we brought yoga mats, and we had to get in different positions. One of them was one that was like happy baby. I remember that, like, yoga position. And find the place where our body begins to shake. And just allow our bodies to just tremble. And that, to me, never felt like, I thought, well, if I'm shaking, I don't know, I'm having a seizure or something. Like, it didn't seem like it was a good response. And the way she explained it was that it's actually your body's natural healing response in a way that it can release traumas and move into like a homeostasis. And so that awakened me to a connection between what I'm holding in my body and my voice, because the whole purpose of that was to release the tension in our bodies so that our voices could be more free, so we could sing and act and all those things. And it was very powerful work and something that just awakened me to some different possibilities to how our bodies express healing. And there's more of a range of what that looks like. So we've got unfinished business to do, right? We've got some unfinished business in our bodies, our hearts, our minds. And our culture teaches us to avoid pain. It's just part of how we've been trained. If you have pain, take a pill or have a drink or a drug or whatever it is that is food, just want to get rid of that pain right away. And so we've lost our touch with our bodies and the inner wisdom in our bodies. And we tend to always be up in our head, future, past, worries and that kind of thing. One of our unity authors and minister, Eric Butterworth, he said, before you take a pill, how about having a prayer? How about praying? And that stayed with me, because maybe I'm just in the rush of things and I've got a headache and just take something and so I can get going. And my body's just trying to get my attention about something. And if I stay with it and I turn to spirit with it, and I just be with it, sometimes that energy just needed that attention and it may move, and that headache might be gone, or that pain or discomfort might become lessened, more tolerable, or even negligible. Just in that practice of bringing our tenderness to our inner life, getting in touch with it, and it may pass. It may pass. So there are two parts of healing on the healing path, according to Jack Kornfield. He said the first one is you want to find a teacher you can be honest with. Someone who, you're not expected to do this alone, this spiritual path. If you're a part of Unity, and Unity ministers are here for you, or find a mindfulness teacher, and someone who really can accept you and hold that sacred space for you when those dark fears arise within you. They can witness you and compassionately support you. In spiritual life, we also have people called spiritual directors, and that's the work of a spiritual director. That's one of the paths that I've taken in my journey to be a spiritual director, so that I can hold a safe space for those who I'm working one-on-one with, companioning on the spiritual journey, and just really being a witness and holding them in support in whatever is arising for them. I have a committed relationship with my spiritual director, and I found that to be of great healing support, to be seen even in my darkest moments and supported through that, to know that I have that trusted relationship. And through that trust, Jack Kornfield tells us we begin to learn how to build that trust with other people in our lives as well. And so the second part of healing on the spiritual path is bringing mindfulness off of the cushion, so to speak, or your meditation chair, and into every area of your life. So cultivating mindfulness in what the Buddha called the 4 foundations of mindfulness: awareness of the body and senses, awareness of the heart and feelings, awareness of mind and thoughts, and awareness of the principles that govern life. So in Buddhism, that would be the Dharma. In Unity, we call them universal laws or unity principles. And so bringing that awareness into all areas of our life, and having a trusted teacher, or even a Sangha, or a place like Wednesday night Satsang, where you have a group that you're meditating with regularly and you're on a path together. So the good news is, as we gradually awaken our awareness of all that we had shut out, our bodies, our hearts, our minds they heal. Oscar Wilde said, "It's not the perfect, but the imperfect that is in need of our love." Think about how much, I know for me, I'll take something I'm good at and just try to be even better at it. Just keep working to be more and more perfect in what's working, and maybe ignore the healing, what I don't want to look at, what I don't want to see. And so that is what is in need of our love and our tender attention. Jack Kornfield tells a story of a woman who came to a meditation retreat with cancer all over her body, and she had been told that she would die in a few weeks, but she was determined to heal herself using meditation as a tool for her healing. And so she took this retreat, focused on her meditation. She also got some excellent Chinese medicine, acupuncture. She was doing daily healing meditations. And so even though her belly was distended with cancer and it felt hot, the heat of cancer within it, the whole time she was feeling that. But even in that, by bringing her mindfulness and attention and tenderness to her practice, she was able to bolster her immune system so that she lived another 10 years, 10 good years, living well beyond that time. And she credited her healing attention with what kept her cancer in check for those 10 years. And so on the other hand, you could be like a person named Mullah Nasruddin. Mullah Nasruddin, he is a Sufi, wise and holy fool. And this is a man who had bought a donkey. And he had this donkey, he'd been feeding the donkey had to eat a lot. And so he decided that the donkey was costing him too much. So every day he just gradually fed the donkey less and less and less, until finally one day he was just giving him a cup of grain once a day as his food. And he thought, wow, my plan is succeeding. I'm saving lots of money. And then, unfortunately, the donkey died. And Nasruddin went to see his friends in the tea shop to tell them about what happened with his experiment. And he said, it's such a shame, because if the donkey had been around a little bit longer, maybe I could have gotten him to eating nothing. Can you imagine? So we can be like that when we ignore the needs of our bodies, our hearts and minds. It's like we're feeding our inner life nothing. We're starving ourselves of spiritual food that we so need, that inner healing work. With tenderness, with giving our minds, our bodies, our hearts the attention that they need, the gifts that we gain from that are regaining our intuition, getting in touch with that regularly, getting in touch with our feelings, our life and our connection with all life, our unity with all life. When we connect to ourselves, naturally, we open up to all life. And many people experience a cleansing of their senses. Colors become more brilliant. Food tastes better. They experience a connection with their innate joy and their innocence. As we attend to our inner healing, we experience greater intimacy with all life. And isn't that the purpose of why we come together to practice our name, unity? Thank you. Namaste.
Jeanmarie, that was wonderful. I was thinking about this one piece that you talked about when you were talking about what you thought meditation was, to go boldly and out there somewhere, right? And that made me wonder, well, what was I thinking about meditation? I did think it was interior, but I thought still it would take me somewhere. I still think it was leaving this, in some kind of way. And I loved it when you said the grounding, that we're grounding, and if you go into the ground, some stuff's going to come up, and it's like, indeed, yes, what did we think? Grounding sounds like a great thing to do until you're with everything that you've actually spent a lot of time trying to escape, right? And so as it comes up, why do we heal? And that, that whole process of, dealing with pain, we think that healing is getting rid of pain, right? Mm-hmm. And that when we just stop hurting, that's healing. And then we can do something else, I guess. But what we don't realize until we actually do heal is that what we gain is not painlessness, but rather freedom. It's freedom and expansion. It's a different kind of life. Real healing and real integration of healing. And that's the discovery, I think, of that. Thank you. You gave so many thought-provoking images and things. What did you hear, David?
Indeed, very rich. Lots of content there. Had me swirling in thought. Wholeness is our natural state. That is our godliness, and I believe that is how God sees us. That is how God bees in us, and so it got me thinking. Well, if we're in need of being healed, I got to thinking about our physical body. Okay, so if we've got an abrasion on our skin, and we have a bona fide scab, so the body knows what wholeness is. The body knows how to heal that. All we have to do is let it heal and stay out of its way. But if we're too active about when we're a child, I picked my scabs. I don't know if anybody else did that, but you kind of dig in and you kind of wonder about that. And I think that sometimes we can do that with the part of ourselves that we're judging, that we're assessing as somehow less than whole. And I also want to acknowledge, though, that there is a layer of stuff in the ground, that we are very skilled in not noticing, sort of the repeat offenders that just keep showing up in our lives over and over again. Then sometimes we need a coach to help us see that. And, we have teachers in everybody we meet. Some of them are friendly and some are not so friendly, but we're seeing ourselves reflected through our interactions with other people. So sometimes that kind of wakes us up to parts that need to be healed that we were unaware of. But even those things, wholeness is its natural state. And I loved everything you were saying about the mindfulness, that is sort of that is the practice for living in our wholeness as opposed to righting a wrong. I think that too often we approach our healing points as if we need to right a wrong, and it was never wrong in God's eyes. So instead we can live in the alignment and the mindfulness of its natural wholeness and allow it to return to its whole state and love that, just allow that to be. I know it's more easily said than done, but that's what we're here to do, right? Is to get the tools so that we can live into it easily.
Yes, I appreciated what you're saying about wholeness being our natural state and just allowing that to return. And I think for me, that's releasing any resistance I have to that. So the resistance could be in my thinking that I'm holding back on the manifestation, or could be in my behaviors towards my body, right? I could be thinking all day long, I'm skinny, 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 and eating ice cream all day, and the two aren't going together. So noticing if my actions and thoughts and Jack Kornfield says, we have all kinds of thoughts, so it's not like we can monitor everyone or be responsible for everyone. Just noticing which ones we attach our feeling to and take action on and are constantly activated, I think, in our lives. And that would be a good place to begin with wholeness and seeing if those thoughts are representative of our truth or not.
Reverend Jeanmarie, can you go back to the four, you identified there were 4 areas. I was like trying to hang on to it, and I was grokking everything you were saying as you were saying it, but then I would like to be reminded of those again. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yes. The part of your talk? Please.
Yes, the 4 foundations of mindfulness.
Yes.
Awareness of the body and senses. Right. Awareness of the heart and feelings. Awareness of the mind and thoughts. And then finally, awareness of the principles. So they may be the Dharma, universal law, the spiritual principles that govern your life. So the inner awareness of what's going on, mind, body, spirit, heart, and then the principles that we apply to how we live our spiritual life.
So the way I can remember that, I think, is the physical realm, the emotional feelings, my emotional state, and then the third one was the mind, mental state, and then the fourth is the principles, the divine law. And that's the part where if we can just sort of sit in the stream of wholeness, that it's not righting or wrong, it's just living into our full natural divine unfolding. That's available to us when we're healthy. That's available to us when our belly is distended with great pain. But if we can live in that space, then that is our godly function. We're aging, nobody's going to get out of this alive, right? But we don't need to resist it. We can live in the fullness of it and be all of who we are right now. All of our gray hair, all of our wrinkles, all of our scabs on our skin. They're finding their natural expression: physical, emotional, mental, and then godliness.
I love that, and that, I think that what we just traced by body, heart, mind, principle, that's prayer. It really is bringing all the conditions that I notice. Maybe that's what drives us to pray, isn't it? To something usually isn't right. We rarely go in gratitude in prayer. I'm sure some of you do, but it's generally driven by discomfort, fear, anxiety about something, and so we're feeling all of that. But really, prayer is then the addition and the remembrance of what is true, what is really true. And as we start to do that, then everything else falls into alignment with it. We start to become one with it. And that, to me, is prayer. That's not being addressed to anyone in particular out there. It's really alignment with what we know is true. And now we begin to embody it. We begin to feel it, right?
Yeah.
So what a great lesson. What a great lesson tonight in the wholeness of healing there. Well, let us now take this awareness and let us go into prayer. Because this is our time to do that. And so I invite you to take a deep breath in and to relax and to reclaim the territory that we established at the beginning of this service this evening, which is that while we are spread across a geography of some kind, we are in fact one, that we are in fact connected one to another. That there is an entire network now of community in this moment with the sound of my voice to all those who are listening now and even those who will be watching at some distant time. You are with us even now. And so as you breathe into this moment, into your body, as you feel your heart expand and your mind open, we allow ourselves to feel this oneness and to know that every beautiful truth is a healing, reconciles us, reminds us, and brings us back to the truth. And so for any condition that we have concerns about, that we wish were different, or for any concern we have for a loved one, or any relationship we'd like to have healed or different, whatever condition or relationship or individual, let us now, into this space among us and between us, let us speak the name of that condition or person or relationship. And as we do, we release it into the truth that heals it and makes it one. release them completely. All of it. Into wholeness. Into oneness. Into completeness. Into peace. We breathe. And so it is. Amen. We have a couple of things to tell you about. This Sunday is your opportunity, last call for Spirit Group sign up. We've been talking a lot about it these last couple of weeks, and yes, now is the time. Be there or be square. Show up, sign up. You can join a Spirit Group on Zoom and do that on our website, unityhouston.org. The groups begin this Sunday. Begin the week of February 7th. Wait a minute, that's not this Sunday. We're in it. Yeah. But they can still join. That's what she said. She said it. Jen said it. So hold her accountable. But anyway, show up, sign up. This is your chance. It'll be super cool and fun. This Sunday is Valentine's Day. Woo! And Reverend Michael will be talking about Eros, to love with passion. You want to join him for the continuation of his wonderful series for this month. Our Spanish language service is also going to be covering the same topic, Vivir Enamorado, and that will be a very cool discussion format with Claudia Olmos and Giovanna Specht. And so if you speak Spanish or know someone who does, be sure and check it out, 9:45 on live stream. Next Wednesday, Take a Breath is going to be the topic. I'll be bringing a continuation of A Path with Heart that is Jack Kornfield's book, but we are taking it as a series. And it's a great opportunity to develop a spiritual practice. So come back and join us as we help you find an easy way to move into a regular awareness. Register now for 2 upcoming events. One is Virtual Labyrinth of Love, and that will be facilitated by Dr. Mary Fair, who's our very own Mary on staff, and she is a brilliant teacher of the labyrinth. And I love this labyrinth with a heart in the center of it. It's actually how I think of Mary. She's one big heart, and this is a beautiful way for her to be teaching it. That will be Saturday, February 20th, from 2 to 4. This is an online Zoom experience. So even though that's hard to wrap your head around, how do you do a labyrinth walk on Zoom? Well, you're about to find out. All you need to do is register on Zoom for February 20th, 2 to 4, that Saturday experience. And coming up February 21st, that is Sunday, a week from this Sunday, 1:30 to 3, our Healing the Heart of America is presenting the living history and bright future of Freedmanstown, Houston's first Black settlement. This is an opportunity for you to learn a little bit more about something that has happened locally and continues to grow and to develop. It is going to be presented by individuals who are part of the Freedmanstown Conservancy, and also a resident of Fourth Ward who's very active in the development and the onward movement of that Freedmanstown. So please join us online, a Zoom link you can pick up easily. Just go to their website, February 21st, 1:30 to 3. I'm going to be there, and I hope you'll be joining us then.
Our prayer for the welfare of all beings. By the power of this practice, may all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they know the sacred joy that arises in the space beyond suffering. May they rest in equanimity that knows no grasping or hatred. May they experience the equality of all beings. May my practice be of benefit to all. Namaste.